Hey, Steve Zook here. Welcome back to Pokesoo Channel, the Guitar Ladder System. Hey, I had an interesting phone call this morning. I like to kind of talk about phone calls I get because everybody seems to have a certain question about the Guitar Ladder System and the effectiveness or the approach or what they're beginning to sense might be the reality of it. And this call was interesting. And this guy had mentioned, like, when he listens to Jimi Hendrix and watches him play, he notices, how it's so much more creative and kind of has certain elements to it that make him kind of seek to want it to get better. And I mentioned, well, Jimi Hendrix took the time to really woodshed and really learn the instrument and learn about tension and resolution, learn the colors of music, learn how to improvise, and learn enough tools to have his own unique musical point of view. That's really what it's about, folks. Best example, spend an hour watching Eric Johnson. He's got a musical point of view. Even Joe Bonamassa, when he first saw Eric Johnson play live, just said something like, wow, he's got something new, It takes work to have something new and have something fresh, but having a musical point of view is really fulfilling. It's really what we're looking for because we're creative by nature. That's part of who we are as spiritual beings. And but to be creative, you have to input good information into your subconscious mind, and that information needs to be, you need to experience it. You need to experience smooth voice leading, like cycle one. I don't have to get into a big long explanation of smooth voice leading. You can hear it when you hear this cycle. You can hear how this chord smoothly goes to this chord, small interval skips, smooth. But you can hear the smooth voice leading. So it was an interesting conversation today. This guy sounds like he's going to go ahead and invest in the Guitar Ladder System. And but that's when you watch a really great artist who, and there's very few real artists on the planet, to be honest about it. When you watch somebody really great like Eric Johnson or Pat Martino or Joe Pass or Wes Montgomery or Jimi Hendrix, they have a musical point of view, and that's what really stands out because they're not just hashing the same shit over and over again. It takes work, folks. Now, I told this guy that he asked me about, well, do you teach a lot of theory and stuff? I said, well, I don't teach a lot of theory because it just gets in the way. It's going to slow things down. Now, that's not to say it's not important to know that a major 7 is 1, 3, 5, 7, minor 7, 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7. And that, basic theory is good to know and to understand the relationship between a chord and a scale, things like that. But what I was saying is that the best way to learn and the quickest way to learn is to experience these different 10 systems of improvisation. You don't need to put it into a box to understand or to hear something. Like if I do this, you can hear that contrary motion. You can hear the bass going down and the treble going up. You can hear that. It sounds nice, right? So what my point to this is just that when we watch artists that are really real composers and real artists and real innovators like Hendrix, trust me, they spent time improvising, learning how to get around the guitar, not just with single notes, but also chords. You'd be surprised. I'll bet if we could have visited Hendrix years ago, and I actually told this guy on the phone today, I was buying a guitar from a guy way up in the mountains in Monrovia, and he goes, see that house down the street, that pink house? Hendrix used to live there. I was like, wow. But a lot of these artists, at some point in time, they spent a lot of time to get to know their instrument, and that's not about a bunch of theory. Now, what I did personally to become more of a composer is I studied some flamenco. I did a summer of doing nothing but concert level classical, spending 6-7 hours a day. I studied jazz with Joe Pass. I studied with Horace Hatchett. I studied a lot on my own too. I studied people like Steve Howe, learned some of his solo acoustic guitar pieces, as well as some of the band pieces. I studied composition on piano. But what I'm trying to say is that the Guitar Ladder System is about, seeding your musical mind or growing your musical ear so you can have a musical point of view. You're going to emulate people you know. But if you're feeling a little unfulfilled about your guitar playing, that's why. Because you're not growing, and it's not always just the goal either. It's about getting on a path that is going to give you growth. And if you watch real artists like Eric Johnson, Joe Pass, Pat Martino, Wes Montgomery, Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, they had a musical point of view. They had an approach. They had something they brought to the music that was different. Now, in somebody like Stevie Ray Vaughan, it was that tremendous feel and that energy, and some would say his electromagnetic field, his intention, and the way he just, brought that to kind of a blues thing, and the way he articulated his riffs and everything. Hendrix was a little more innovative, and really everybody stands on the shoulders of these great players. We're all standing on the shoulders of Hendrix and Jaco Pastorius and Wes Montgomery and Joe Pass. I was lucky enough to study with Joe Pass. But anyway, I just wanted to make that point. And I'm not saying theory isn't bad, but learning basic things like chord construction, you should learn your inversions. I can send you a sheet. I can send you the inversion sheet for free, and I'll send you cycle 1 for free too. But learning your inversions is important. Comes in handy with doing chord melody style. And you learn them on different sets of strings. I'm not going to go through them all. And some inversions are higher tension, like this one, major 7 inversion. It demands resolution. So what I'm really saying here is that when you watch a great artist like Jimi Hendrix, or like I said, I keep using this, Eric Johnson. Eric Johnson's the best example I can think of, because Eric Johnson uses some really beautiful, interesting chords, and the way he puts them together is so freaking cool on his Strat, and he still gets a nice, attack and rhythm and everything, but he's being innovative. Most people, this is probably gonna sound a little harsh, but there's a lot of great artists out there, and I'm not trying to put anybody down, but very few have done their homework. Very few have done their homework, because if you do your homework, then you're gonna bring a musical point of view to the table that's unique. And that doesn't mean that people that kind of stick in a certain genre like Joe Bonamassa, he's a great player. I respect him a lot, and I love his acoustic side. He's very, very cool. But let's be honest, he doesn't bring as much originality to the table as somebody like Eric Johnson. And I'm not trying to put anybody down. I highly respect Joe Bonamassa. I think he's an awesome player, and he seems like a really, really nice guy. What I'm trying to say, though, that if when you watch a great player and you're like, wow, you're sensing, like this guy that called me on the phone today, he was sensing something about Jimi Hendrix and the way he added, things to it, to basic kind of blues patterns, and he used 7 sharp 9 chords and different things. Well, that's what it is. And I told him the example of one of my students that was writing stuff that sounded like early Police when he was like 18 or 19. It was just incredible. Now he's in a country band, and they were even on TV a while back. So anyway, that's what I'm saying. So when you watch great artists and something inside you resonates, that's because you want to create. That's because you want to have a musical point of view. You want to begin to let some of your own original musical ideas come out of you or come through you, is really what I believe it is. You have to kind of open the portal. So the guitar ladder system is about opening the portal. It's about feeding your musical mind. It's about growing your musical ear, so you can begin to move into new harmonic territory, begin to understand the components of music and the components, and a lot of this happens on a subconscious level. So again, I'm not saying theory is bad, but I'm saying you can really get yourself into a box. I've had people buy my guitar ladder system with master's degrees in music that said, Steve, I can't improvise, I can't compose, I'm stuck in a box. Now, once they said that to me, then I was able to go, yeah, okay, I'm glad you realize that. We're going to get you out of that box. Your subconscious mind is extremely powerful. It can assimilate the information and then spit back out for you, or allow musical ideas, because I believe they're kind of just floating around the universe, allow ideas to come through, and you can begin to express. And there's no better natural high on the planet, folks. So if you'd like to discover your own, and I really do believe everybody has a unique musical point of view. If you want to discover a musical point of view and begin to unleash some of your musical ideas, you want to just make some growth on guitar. It's not about getting signed to a deal. It's not about making money. It's about the joy of creating, okay? And sure, we all like to play other people's stuff, but nothing feels better than to begin to bring some of your own original musical ideas to the table. And the guitar ladder system is what you're looking for, in a very innovative, simple to use, but very, very powerful music guitar instruction system that's gonna unfold your musical mind and your musical ear. It really works, folks. So, okay, so if you want a sample of cycle 1, let's do. I know you guys are probably getting sick of seeing cycle 1, but if you want, it's a great cycle. Cycle 1, send me an email, pokesue@gmail.com. So much we can do with cycle 1. And then you can add the shading to cycle 1, get the more modern right here. It's a major 13 flat 5. When you find something that works, milk it. Maybe minor 9 to major 13 flat 5. But it's all about tension and resolution, folks. If you really want to grow musically, you need to do a lot of chordal work. And I'm going to give you 240 studies plus the secret Horace Hatchett files. I don't send it all at once. It's not effective that way. Plus, I can't just send you over 300 files. I don't have it all in one place. Plus, it doesn't work that way. It'll work out better for you if you do 1 or 2 studies at a time and take your time. So you make a new folder on your desktop called I love this chord, major 13. Make a new folder on your desktop called GL System. Save your charts and videos to it. But send me an email, pokesue@gmail.com. We'll get you started on some free material. If you just want to order, go to stevesguitars.com. You can order right there. Price is going up soon. This is major 13, resolved to 7 sharp 5 9. Here's the lick I shared today. Minor 11, major 9 6. That's a bichord, major 9 and minor 7 at the same time. All right, folks, take care. For samples of the guitar ladder system, pokesue@gmail.com. Keep the faith, stay positive, and the universe is unfolding in time, not unraveling. Ciao.